Speaking of war, Jon Stewart went Daily Show old school. Let's watch a little bit of this masterpiece of a segment from him. Go watch the whole thing, but here's a clip of it on the parallels between Venezuela and Iraq.
But I know what MAGA is doing. They're convincing us that Iraq was an entirely different set of circumstances. That country was led by a sword-wielding, mustachioed madman who held an iron grip on his people and his power. Nicolas Maduro is nothing like... Oh, shit.
That drugged-out dinghy was a floating weapon of mass destruction.
Every boat carrying fentanyl and drugs in this country is a weapon of mass destruction.
Are you f***ing kidding me right now? You guys have the balls to tell us that the pretext for Iraq was bullshit and that war was a mistake, and we're not like that. And also, Venezuela has weapons of mass destruction and we have to stop them. For those of you who are like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that all the fentanyl in the US comes from Venezuela, that's because it doesn't. Like, almost none of it. Like, none of it. Because as much as you say war with Venezuela would be so different from Iraq, it seems like you may be using the neocons' sales manual. Like, other than WMDs, why was it so important to take down Saddam Hussein?
His regime has an active support for and cooperation with terrorist networks.
Terrorist networks. That's the worst kind of networks. Well, you'll never guess where the terrorists are now.
Iran, its IRGC, and even Hezbollah, they have planted their flag on Venezuelan territory with the full and open cooperation of that regime.
Wow, so if you're saying we go to war with Venezuela, we're also getting into a proxy war with Iran. I'm sold. Now, if I remember correctly, though, Iraq lasted until still. And what did they say about that?
I think it would be a cakewalk.
I don't think it would be that tough a fight.
I think the saddest part of getting into a war of choice in 2025 is that Dick Cheney won't be around to see it.
Later, he goes into the question of how you can square America first with the circle of this intervention. Mm-hmm. He plays this great clip of my friend Jesse Waters saying, it's South America. America is right there in the name. It's obviously America first.
So good. It's obviously America first.
Yes.
Well, that's the line that that's the line that Rubio has been using, is that if you are America first, this is our hemisphere. It's a less sophisticated rendering of the Rubio line.
But it's also our world. Like, how does that not apply to the world?
They're trying to...
We're world power. I mean, America first. It's our world.
It's our world.
So everything in the world is ours.
There you go. If it identifies as America, that it's America.
It says it right there, the Americas.
Yeah.
Like, what part of this is confusing to you?
But this is where we talked in the last block about how the Trump national security strategy that was released is a literal PDF titled National Security Strategy, is trying to move away from the Cold War coalitions with Western Europe. But this is still all entirely Cold War rhetoric. It's not even Iraq. Yeah. It's Marco Rubio talking about you can substitute Iran and Hezbollah for Soviet Union. It's exactly what we were doing in South America and Central America during the Cold War. It's exactly the same playbook and the same regime change playbook. And they're using, I mean, if you were trying to sell this war to the American public saying, these are legit weapons of mass destruction, is about the dumbest way you could do it. That is the quickest way that you can get distrust about the legitimacy of this war, is to say, what did Jesse Waters say? Those boats are 3D weapons of mass destruction. Something like that. Yeah, like that is the quickest way you can make people be like, whoa, hold on. Yeah. Let's go easy on this one.
Like that work. I mean, in his defense, claiming weapons of mass destruction worked last time. Yeah. They don't care that the war didn't go well. They got to do their war. So in that sense, they're like, oh, let's do the WMD playbook again. But to your point about Rubio, for that reason, Dropsite News is actually, we're launching a Latin American desk for this reason, because like it's clear that based on this national security strategy, what Trump is saying about Europe and China, there is a recognition that American global hegemony is at the beginning of the end, at least. And what that's going to mean is that our friends closer by are going to get a lot more attention. Jon Stewart defined America First as, we're not going to kill people over there, we're going to kill people here.
Right.
So we're going to have to beef up our coverage of that.
Yeah, but I mean, also, let's just say you buy into that strategy. Their plan, they point constantly to Panama, but their plan has not worked elsewhere. And give them that.
Also, we had a massive military base in Panama already.
Yeah.
And Manuel Noriega was a CIA asset. So firing your own asset and replacing them is not as impressive a feat as going into a hostile place where you don't have a military base and trying to completely revolutionize the political structure.
Well, we did originally, as Panama exists, because we were revolutionizing,
right.
And
we created it.
Right.
Yeah.
And and so if you again keep going back to these examples, there's best example is right now you have a Sandinista president. Like, how has this worked for you all? Like in the arc of history, how have these regime change operations backing militants against alleged communist or Hezbollah sympathizers, which he's of course correct, and this was the point that you were going to make. Or that you were making, which is that, yes, Iran and China are going to get footholds in Venezuela. And to some extent, they already do have them. It's because of the regime change wars that many people in those countries have been open to embracing these different countries, because some people there really don't like the United States. I wonder why.
I wonder. Can't imagine why. One example of why they might not is Pete Hegseth, being on a serial killer spree around the Caribbean. Trump was asked in this interview whether or not he'd be okay with Hegseth testifying. And if you're Hegseth, you'd probably like to see a little bit firmer defense than the president offered him right here.
Should he testify, Pete Hegseth, under oath before Congress about that controversial second strike on the alleged drug boat on September 2nd?
I don't care if he does. He can if he wants. I don't care.
Do you think he should?
I don't care. I would say do it if you want. He's doing a great job.
Have you watched the video?
He was stopping. I watched everything. Yeah, I watch everything. I see a lot of things.
And do you believe that second strike was necessary?
Well, it looked like they were trying to turn back over the boat, but I don't get involved in that. That's up to them.
Yeah, I don't care. It's not exactly what you want when you're facing war crimes allegations. Speaking of war crimes, he was also asked about, and this was the story that Sagar and I had reported earlier, that he was given a bunch of targets in Mexico and Colombia by his intelligence community when he asked for targets connected to the drug trade in Venezuela, because there isn't much in Venezuela connected to the drug trade except a little, coca leaf off in the jungle. And so he's now got his eye on Colombia and Mexico. Let's roll that one.
Would you consider doing something similar with Mexico and Colombia that are even more responsible for fentanyl trafficking into the U.S.?
Sure, I would.
We put up B4 here, Daily Mail reporting Trump sending shockwaves through Latin America. They should be watching Breaking Points or reading Dropsite. They would not be shocked.
No.
Learn ahead of time what's going on by getting some actual news.
Yeah,
don't just wait for it to spill out of Trump's mouth.
Save yourself the shockwaves. But I actually don't even think many people in Latin America are at all surprised by this, to be honest, because
Daily Mail might be sensationalizing that a little bit, you think?
They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. But yeah, I mean, it's he's sort of been telegraphing a willingness. I mean, speaking of Cold War 2.0, with Trump, you genuinely do not know. I don't know whether he knows if this is serious, if he's serious about this or if he's posturing, because he does so much posturing. He's comfortable with pushing the limits on what typical politicians are comfortable threatening. And so it's hard to say how serious that is, but because the President of the United States said it, you have to take it seriously. Of course you have to take it seriously. So we'll see. You would certainly have a better justification for striking targets in Sinaloa, for example, if you're trying to stop fentanyl overdoses in the United States, fentanyl trafficking into the United States. That justification would be a whole lot easier than boats that are going to Suriname off the coast of Venezuela.
Yeah.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show, ad-free, and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.